Hello everybody, welcome back to Natalie Reads and welcome to a vlog series on my channel. I did one kind of similar to this last year. I wanted to get into weekly vlogging last year, so I decided I was gonna vlog, I think I started in March maybe, and I vlogged every week up until the end of the school year. I do think I missed a week or two because I was new to it. And I haven't really weekly vlogged since, and I really like the idea of weekly vlogs because I think they hold me accountable to actually reading. And so, this year, I'm doing the same thing. I'm vlogging till the end of the school year, but I definitely have substantially less school than last year. Today, which is May 17th, I believe, yes it is, I have exactly 4 weeks and 2 days left of school. I'm so excited for school to be over. This year has been rough, and I know next year's probably only gonna be rougher, but I'm ready for the summer. I'm ready to be off of school and to not have to think about school. And also, none of the weeks I have left of school are full weeks. This week, we had a day off in the middle of the week. Next week, we basically don't have school on Friday. The week after that, we don't have school on Monday because of Memorial Day. The week after that, we have like only 3 days left of school because we have like an award ceremony on Thursday and then finals start on Friday. And the last week of school, I only have to go to school 2 days. 1 day is finals and then 1 day is just graduation practice for the seniors. So that's not really even a day of school. So I'm so close to the end and I'm so excited. And I don't want to stop reading because I'm slacking, and I don't really want to slack that much because while school is almost over, I still have work left to do and my classes aren't over yet, as we do have finals. So I'm gonna bring you all along with me on my last few weeks of schools and keep you updated on what I'm reading. So like I said, today is currently the 17th. It's a Tuesday. It's the end of the day. It's like completely dark out. And I finished some books earlier today, so I'm about to start a new book, and I'm about to start this Lullaby by Sarah Dessen. So this year I have been rereading all of Sarah Dessen's books as she is a favorite author of mine. However, this has been very slow going as her first 5 books I don't love. There's a few gems in there that I really do adore, but yeah, they're not my favorite. But I do think it's important to, well, for my sake, I want to read them all because she writes in like this extended universe, so her future books have cameos from characters in her first books. So I want to read all of them to like be able to get the most out of the experience. And this Lullaby is the last one that I'm not fond of. So once I knock this one out, I am done with the hard ones, and then we just get to the ones that I love so much. So I'm not 100% sure what this book is about. It's about I know there's a girl who like starts dating a musician, and there's also some baggage with her dad, who I think was also a musician but then left her. So I think that causes some conflict, and I'm not wholly sure. I think I thought this book was kind of boring and I didn't really like the main character. So it'll be interesting to see how my opinion changes on reread. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna read this book. I know this weekend is Becca's Bookoplathon, which I think I'll probably just mush into this vlog, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm excited to participate in that readathon. However, it is a little bit sad in some ways that I'm going to be able to fully participate in, because originally when it was announced, I was so excited, but then I was like, oh, my track district champions are that Saturday, so I won't be able to fully participate. But I'm not going to districts anymore. I found out on Friday that we're actually not taking really any of our girls' teams to districts, which is kind of sad. So my track season got cut short like a week earlier than I thought it was going to be. So I'm not going to be gone all day Friday, and I will hopefully be home with nothing to do except for read. So I mean, it's good that I'll be able to read, but I'm sad about track. But you're not here for track, you're here for reading and hopefully a little bit of life content. So it's like late, so I'm gonna go get ready for bed and then maybe do a little bit of reading and start this lullaby, and I will update you all tomorrow.
Hi, it's Thursday and I'm filming in my hallway, so I don't know what that says about me. But over the last 2 days, I've basically finished this Lullaby by Sarah Dessen. I literally have like 10 pages left and I just don't finish it, but I'm going to. So in this lullaby, we're following our main character, Remy, her summer before college. A lot of things are happening to her this summer. First, her mother is getting remarried for, I want to say, the 5th time or something like that. It's either the 4th or 5th time, but kind of in her mom's eyes, it's one more than that because she was never actually married to Remy's dad. He was a musician and they like never actually got married. legally. So she's getting remarried, and like Remy really does everything for her mother. Her mother is not self-sufficient and really depends on Remy to do everything. Like Remy is just like planning their entire wedding, and her mom's over here like, oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Wedding planning has been so hard. And so Remy also, because of her mom, is very cynical about love. She does not date boys for more than like 2 months or something, and she just doesn't believe that love exists because of her mother, like constant remarriage, and then also her mother and father's relationship. Her father left before she was even born, and her father was a musician, and his most popular song is called This Lullaby, and it's written for Remy on the day she was born, and like her father wasn't there. So she has very complicated feelings about the song, and she doesn't like it. Basically, Remy meets this guy over the summer, Dexter. He's a musician, and Remy has a rule that she doesn't date musicians, but Dexter wears her down, and they start to date, and she's like, maybe he's different, and starts to like break all her classic dating rules, and like doesn't want to break up with him after like 2 months and wants things to be serious, kind of, but like is still insecure. I don't like Remy. She's high-key annoying. I don't know. It's like, yes, she's had certain parts of her life that are not great, but like the way she treats a lot of guys in the book is just not great. Like, they didn't do anything to you, so like stop. I will also say, I think the use of drugs and alcohol and the somewhat glamorization and skirting over of Remy's substance abuse problem that she has at the beginning of the book was mismanaged. At the beginning of the book, Remy talks about how she used to really misuse drugs and she used to be high all the time, but she's not like that anymore. But then there's multiple scenes at the beginning of her book of her just getting wasted, and one scene she like is at a bar, gets wasted, and some guy tries to like take her out to his car and like assume sexually assault her, and she ends up like punching him, but like the guy's all offended and like almost calls the cops on her, which is like really weird. And it's like it just like stops at some point in the book. Like she stops drinking at one point in the book, and it's never like addressed why she really made this change and like decided to not do this harmful behavior to herself anymore, and it just like disappears. There's also a slight trigger warning for rape in this book, because Remy at one point in the book does recount an instance where she was raped her sophomore year, I think, of high school. She got drunk and a guy raped her, and that was also just kind of glossed over, I felt. And just for me, no parts of this book were interesting, because in a Sarah Dessen book, there's 3 kind of relationships that drive the plot: main character and parent, main character and friends, and main character and boyfriend. I didn't care about the relationship between Remy and Dexter because I didn't also really like Dexter. Like, he was fine in the middle of the book, but like at the beginning of the book, he was like kind of stalkish toward Remy. Like, he like randomly went up to her like before they'd even read. It was like, "Hi, I really like you. I'm gonna give you my number." And she's like, "Sorry, not interested." And he was like repeatedly came up to her and like was trying to flirt with her. And like the scene that like ends with them getting together was like him breaking into her window, which was like kind of weird. In the middle of the book, he was fine, but like he also tries to like pressure her into like talking about how much she likes him and like saying that like, "Oh, you loved me, like you love me, you just don't want to admit it." And I have complicated feelings of if he should have said that. I don't know. I didn't really like Remy's mother and the subplot with her and her newest husband, who she was like determined was going to be the one that she was going to marry forever. I didn't find that interesting. And then like Remy's friends weren't like a huge part of it, but like I would have liked it if they were more in the book, because I thought they were interesting. Because like there's these 2 friends that seem to have this like rivalry. They really don't like each other, but we don't find out anything about why that is, and I wish we could have explored more of their differences, but now we're just stuck hearing Remy complain. So I didn't like this book. It's probably gonna get like 2 stars if we're being honest, because I am sick and tired of reading it. So I'm gonna finish out the last 10 pages of it tonight, and I may start something else. I'm not quite sure, because obviously Bookoplathon happens tomorrow. I need to figure out if I can like continue a book that I start beforehand, so I'm gonna rewatch the announcement video but I think I'll probably start like a romance book or something. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this lullaby. Obviously, if anything happens in the last 10 pages that makes me change my mind and bump it up a star, I'll let y'all know, but I don't really see that happening, so I'm gonna go do that. Okay, hi, it's Friday and I finished this lullaby last night, and the ending didn't change my opinion on it. Like, I will say it's kind of an unclear ending as to what happens, which I think really fits with the characters, which is nice, but it wasn't like anything amazing to make me absolutely love this book, so 2.5 stars is probably the right answer. Then I started Welcome to the Dark Side by Gianna, which is the second book in the Fallen Men series. I read the first book last month, and I actually forgot to talk about it in my wrap-up, so that's kind of fun. And I'm like 60% of the way through it or something, because, listen, not a lot happened at school today, which is good because no homework, but, you know. So, yeah, that's what I've been reading. I'll talk to y'all more about Welcome to the Dark Side, like, later on, if it becomes applicable, because the 48-hour Bookoplathon reading has started. It's 7:20 on Friday, which means the readathon started 20 minutes ago, and I've yet to do any reading. So I thought I could talk y'all through the initial plan for the readathon, because obviously I can't plan for the entire readathon because you only get 2 prompts at a time, but I'll tell y'all what I'm planning on reading for the first 2 prompts. So the first prompt is short book, and for that I'm actually going to be rereading one, and that is Every Hearted Our Way by Shauna McGuire. I've gotten almost all of these books out of the library for this readathon, just because they're like nice, short, easy books to read. So right now I have the first 2 out physically. The third one should hopefully be at the library tomorrow, and then I have the 4th, 5th, and 6th on my Kindle. So this will probably be what I'm starting with. It's about 170 pages long, so that's not too bad. Like I said, it's a reread. So in this series, we follow kids who don't belong in like the real world, so they find doors that are like portals to like the specific world where they belong. However, inevitably at some point these kids have to leave their portal worlds, and this like is really jarring for them because the real world isn't the right place for them. And so there's this place called Eleanor West's, I think is her name. Yeah, Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children, where these kids can go to kind of recuperate, and they often do manage to find a door back. So we're following Nancy as she comes back, and there's a mystery at the school. So kind of the way this series works is every other book, the books alternate between this like larger plot that has to do with a bunch of the kids, and then learning about a specific person's tale. So this one is one of the larger plot ones, and then the next one is a person's tale. You guys get the memo. So I have this one to read, so that'll be fun. And then the other book I have, which I'm really hoping it fits the prompt, the next prompt was Gods, and for that I have Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, which I think is like a reimagining of some of the Norse gods. I think it would work, because obviously like Norse mythology has gods in it, so this should work. It's like, I don't know, it's not even 300 pages, so this hopefully shouldn't take it too long to read. And I mean, I guess if I finish these 2 books before the next blowjob, which I mean I probably won't, like I have the next Eleanor West book. I was kind of considering reading Percy Jackson, but I've already read that book like 5 times in my lifetime, so I figured I should go for something I haven't read before. But so yeah, I'm gonna go get reading with Every Hearted Doorway, because my goal is to finish that and then get like halfway through Norse mythology before I go to sleep, and then like maybe wake up at like 6ish to keep reading before the next prompts. So yeah, I'm gonna go read. I also do know tonight I won't be fully reading. I think we're gonna watch a movie with my family, so that'll probably be lots and lots of fun. But I'm gonna start reading now. I'm finished. So it's like 12:30. I didn't get much reading done really before like 10:30ish. I read maybe 30 pages, and then I watched a movie with my family, and then I finally read, and like 2 hours later I'm done. So, yeah. It's an interesting book. There's like a string of murders that's taking place at the school, and they're trying to figure out who's causing them. I mean, it does lose somewhat of its compelling nature, knowing that this is a reread and I know who did it, but I think if I want to continue on with the rest of the series, I need to reread it, because I don't really remember what happens beyond this book, so I figured I'm just safer rereading it. But yeah, that's Every Heart a Doorway, so I'm gonna try to read a little bit of Norse mythology tonight, and then we'll see what happens in the morning. I think I'm gonna try to get up at 6 so I can do some reading before the next roll drop, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll update you once I know more of my plan. Norse mythology is not happening. I'm trying to read it, but my head is just not understanding the words, so I'm not gonna read that for gods anymore. Which means I'm in a time crunch because it's currently past 1 and I'm sleeping soon, and the next roll drops are at 7. So I had an idea. It feels a bit wrong to be doing this because I want to trade a whole book for the prompt. But in Welcome to the Dark Side, the love interest name is Zeus, and Zeus is a god. So I think that can count for the god prompt. It's as close as I'm going to be able to get to finishing something. Like I said, I'm about 60% of the way through it. So I'm going to go up to bed, get ready for bed, read a little bit of that, and then wake up in the morning to try to finish it before the next roll drop. Norse mythology, I just can't do myths at like 1 a.m. in the morning. It's just not happening. But I'll see you all in the morning, and maybe I'll tell you all what Welcome to the Dark Side is about. I'm gonna go. Good morning. It is currently 7:30. I've been up for almost an hour now. I haven't done any reading yet, but I got like 4.5 hours of sleep, which is not bad. But we've also gotten the next roll drops. But I guess first I should say I did finish Welcome to the Dark Side last night. Bit of a cop-out because it's just a character's name that is a god, but you know what? We're rolling with it. The next 2 prompts are read an audiobook or an ebook and read a book with a color in the title. Now that one is pushing me a little bit because I can't really find many short books with colors in the title. What would have been perfect was All Systems Red, but I read that last year. So I have 2 options for that prompt. I could do Jade, Fire, Gold, which is like a little lengthier side, but I think it may be a quicker read, or the $1 Million Berry Man or something, because I think berry is a color. But the problem is I don't have that one from my library yet. I think it's coming in today, but I honestly can't be too sure, and I wouldn't know when it's coming in. So I think that one's a little bit of a risk to do. But what I'm saying is, like, I could start the ebook, and then once that gets here, like, even if it's later in the day, I'd still have plenty of time. But then that'd be kind of risking it if it never comes in. So, not too sure what I'm going to do about that one. I don't even know what ebook I'm going to start. I'm kind of considering doing Good, Gone, Bad or something, which is the next book in the whole Fallen Men series that Welcome to the Dark Side is part of. But I'm not 100% sure. These 2 prompts are giving me more difficulty than I thought they would. So my plan is I'm going to pick a book, start reading it, and then I think I'm going to go get Dunkin' and get coffee in a little bit, but I need to go figure out what I'm reading first. We're risking it. I'm going to read Jade, Fire, Gold. And you know, if I read this and I need to pick a shorter book for my ebook prompt, I can totally do that. That would be actually really simple to do. But I am going to get started with Jade, Fire, Gold, and I'll update y'all when I've read some. So it's currently 9:15 and I'm about to go out and get coffee and breakfast, but I have read 150 pages of Jade, Fire, Gold. It's reading fairly quickly and I'm really enjoying it. So basically in this book we're following 2 people, Alton and Anne, who have very different lives. Alton is the son. He's part of the royal family, but like his part of the family was all like killed off and he had to like run away because like his uncle like killed his father to take control. And then we're following Anne, who doesn't remember the beginning part of her life. All she knows is that she was like, I don't say abandoned, but like left by her parents, and like so she doesn't know who her like blood family is. And so she's with this lady who has raised her, basically, but that lady's very sick. And then basically one day, Anne finds out that, or Anne has magical powers, which are illegal in this place. And she gets, like, apprehended by the palace, and then all ends, like, trying to get revenge. And their paths are going to intertwine on their separate journeys. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It's compelling. It's a fairly easy read. And yeah, but I do need some caffeine in me and some food because I'm a little bit tired. So I'm gonna go walk up to Dunkin'. I got Dunkin'. I got a large coffee and a donut, and it was very good. I haven't done any more reading, and it may be probably like an hour-ish before I actually do get more because I'm going to Costco with my dad so I can drive. So I'm gonna try to read a little bit more before we go, but I'm not going to read much for a little bit, but then once I get back from Costco, it's all about that reading. It's currently 4:09. I've done driving, been to Costco, had lunch, and finished Jade Pyre Gold. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a fairly quick read, and it kind of ends on an interesting cliffhanger. Like, it wraps up, and then there's like a little epilogue to like say that something more is happening, which was, you know, really interesting, and I'm excited. I thought the characters were not necessarily the strong point, but they were interesting enough. But I really found the plot and the politics and everything to be interesting, and so I'm excited for whenever the sequel comes out. I forget, was this from November, maybe? I'm not 100% sure when that one was from, but it was quite good and I enjoyed it. So I did that for color in the name because gold. I need to figure out which one I'm reading next because I need to read an ebook or an audiobook, so I'll probably be going the ebook route, but I don't know what I'm going to be reading for that, so I'll let y'all know when I've figured that one out. Hi, so it's not much later, but I finally decided that I am going to read Good Gone Bad. It is a bit longer than what I would have been hoping to read, but it's a romance, so it should read fairly quickly. But before I get started with the reading, I'm going to clear up my little space that I have, and then I'm going to make myself a whipped iced coffee. So I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to make my coffee and start reading my book. It's been a bit. It's like 1:43 a.m. I tried to make coffee. It ended very poorly. It did not work out. Then I started Good Gone Bad or whatever, and in that one, it's following Harley Rose, I think her name is, who's like, well, this is part of a larger series that follows this like motorcycle club, and she's like the daughter of the president of the motorcycle club, and she falls in love with a cop, and they're like trying to bring down another motorcycle club gang thing. So that was like interesting or whatever. I liked it. It was interesting. I liked the plot. I liked the plot of them like infiltrating the club and stuff. Yeah, like Welcome to the Dark Side, which I read earlier and just have totally like not talked about. That one's following the president of the club and the romance between the mayor of their town's daughter. So those are them. They're dark romances. Definitely not for the faint of heart, but they're fun reads and I enjoy them. Okay, so we got the next two roles. Spooky book and YA. Yeah, those are interesting ones. I don't read spooky books. I'm a wimp. I hate being scared. I have an idea. Denim and the Sticks and Bones could be considered spooky because that's the next book in the Wayward Children's series, and Jack and Jill, who it follows, are literally in like a world where there's like vampires and like Jack works with a doctor and they like deal with dead bodies, so I'm gonna say that's pretty dang spooky. And then YA, I don't know, I think I was looking at like what my library has on Libby for YA, and they had One Piece and they had the volume I'm on, and I'm like, well, if my library's saying it's YA, then I think I may just count it as YA and just read the next volume of One Piece. Because also it's like if I just finished the prompt from the last rule drops and I'm gonna go to bed soon, I can't read anything. Oh, hi, lighting. I can't read anything that's gonna be like too long, or else I'm gonna like majorly get behind. So I think my plan is going to be I'm gonna try to read at least half of Down Among the Sticks and Bones tonight. I would love to finish it, but I don't think there's any chance in hell of that happening. I want to go to sleep before 3. Manageable. So, I'm going to go read some of that, and then I'm going to get up at 7 to see the next wall drops. And then I'm going to finish my last books, and I'm going to start the new prompts. Hopefully. I don't think I'm doing much tomorrow. I don't think there'll be any more excursions to Costco where I drive for like 2 hours. I don't think that's going to be happening tomorrow. So, it'll just be me, books, and iced coffee tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. So, yeah. I'm going to go get some final reading done tonight. I may update y'all before I go to bed. I may not. It's also so hot. Like, the high of today was like 95, and it like felt like 102 degrees for most of the day. It's like, it's still like 1:30, and it's still like 75 degrees outside. I'm so hot. I also got dragged to watching another movie tonight, which is why I didn't do a whole lot of reading. We were my neighbor, who's also like my best friend. We were watching some strange ass Japanese movie. It was weird. The best part of it were penguins. They were like these weird penguin birds. And this one guy who kept like saying, I was with a Japanese pirate ship for 10 years, and then I was with a slave ship for 10 years. And he was just like really funny. It was a really weird movie and made 0 sense, but fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna go read because I am literally this close to losing it. I mean, I'm not actually that close to losing it. I'm just tired. But like, I have energy still, which is not good. It's the 32-ounce coffee. I can tell you that right now. But I'm gonna go read. Good morning! I haven't opened my blinds yet, but there is light peeking through, and it's like 9:30. So I'm not gonna lie, I woke up at 7, and I was like, I'm still tired, so I went back to sleep for 30 more minutes. But then I woke up, checked the prompts, and read. So, let me update y'all on what I did last night. So last night I read, I think, 60% of Down Among the Sticks and Bones. And let me tell y'all, the audiobook was a lifesaver. I could not concentrate just reading it. So I had the audiobook out for my library, and I used that, and it just helped me focus on the book and read. So in this book we follow Jack and Jill, and it's the story of them going to their portal world. They were raised to be like opposites of each other. Like, Jack used to always be the like pretty one, the perfect one, the one who's like a princess, and then Jill was like the more tomboy, but they didn't really like their stereotypes. So when they went into this portal world, they kind of switched. Jack became a doctor, started training and learning stuff, while Jill became like the daughter of this like vampire guy. And it's the story of what happens to them in their portal world. And it was interesting, and I liked it. And it's definitely spooky because there's like vampires, werewolves, a bunch of creepy people. You're not really supposed to go out at dark. So it's pretty good. And then I finished it this morning when I woke up. And then I also read, I think, volume 25, maybe, of One Piece. Actually, maybe volume 27. I'm not 100% sure. 26, but I read the next volume of One Piece, really enjoying the story. I'm now I'm into the 3rd arc of it. I'm into Skypedia. I think this was the 2nd volume in Skypedia, so we'll see. I think it's going to be about like this island in the sky. So yeah, so like the first 2 volumes have been about them trying to reach said island in the sky. It's been interesting so far, so let's talk new prompts, because the first one wasn't too bad. We got water, which means water on the cover, I think water in the title, or blue. I haven't figured out what book I'm going to read for that one yet, but like it's not going to be like horrible to figure out. I think I'll be fine. Now the one that's not great is we also got feed scroll, which is where you're supposed to go to Goodreads or Instagram and just scroll until you see the first book that you own, that you have access to, own, library, all that stuff, and haven't read. And like, you gotta do it. You gotta be strict. So I haven't done that yet. So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna use Goodreads. I could have used Instagram, but I can do Goodreads. So I'm gonna pull up Goodreads on my laptop, and then I'll turn the camera around so we can
see what I'm gonna have to read. I'm not excited for this. I've also decided, like, if a book comes up that's, like, in a series, if it's not the first book, I don't have to read it. I don't care if that's cheating. You know, I can't read a second book in the series if I haven't read the first book, so it's the second book that came out, not the first one. So that's my probably somewhat flawed logic. Okay, let's do this. Okay, it ends with us. I've read that. Zodiac Academy, that's not the first book in a series. Second book in a series. I don't think I have access to that series. I don't own it. I don't know about this one. Let me go check. Okay, I checked and Comfort Me with Apples isn't on my library's Libby, so I can't do that one. Yeah, there's definitely no chance in hell that any of my library is gonna have book lovers. I don't know. I'll have to check for this one. This one might be harder because it just came out, but let me see. Yeah, it's all holds for The Golden Couple, as expected, because that book just came out like a few months ago. Series. I don't even know what that is. I may have access to it, I'm not sure. We have a winner, Into the Dark by Dana Isley. I think it's a dark romance, and I have access to it through Kindle Unlimited. I have no idea what this book is about. I'll just read the synopsis on Goodreads, I guess. It says, Him. I am the monster that lurks in your nightmares. Evil incarnate, a sociopath, a murderer. I kill women who are guilty of nothing other than being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Woman like Lyra. Her yellow raincoat flapped in the cool breeze when she walked by, that blonde hair making her look like a drowned rat as she stopped to taste the rain. She wasn't like the others, but my demon wanted her. We followed her, watched her, obsessed over her. She is ours. Of that I'm certain. We will pull her into the depths of our darkness and keep her imprisoned there until we meet our end. Lyra. I'm ordinary in every way. Average looks, mundane job, boring life. But when he looks at me, I become something else entirely. His gaze stalks and tracks me like a game of cat and mouse, his eyes licking fire over my skin every time they glance in my direction. My thoughts are consumed by him every moment he's out of sight. He is my obsession. I can't let him go. And once he shows me his true form, I know I've captured him forever. He is mine, of that I'm certain. I will follow him to the depths of darkness and happily submit to his madness until we meet our end. I think this is gonna be messed up, but I guess it's what I'm reading. Thanks, Goodreads. The more important thing we have to do is find a book with blue on it. So I'm gonna go look at my bookshelves to see if there's any blue that I want to read. So, hello bookshelves. Let's see. I don't know how much blue I actually have on these, but I'll check, and if I find anything, I'll update y'all. I figured it out. I know what I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read The Prison Healer. Now, technically, the copy I have isn't blue. The copy I have is this lovely shade of purple, but it's because I have a special edition. I have the Fairy Loot edition. The regular edition, not purple. It's blue. So I'm counting it because I can. Okay, so I'm going to read this and that other book. I'll probably do that other one first just to get it done with, and then I'll read this. Yeah, so I'm a bit unsure about the other one, but I think The Prison Healer will be good. I don't think it's terribly long. 400 pages-ish. Yeah, 400. I should be able to do that. 3-ish hours of my time. I got this. Okay, well, I am going to probably eat breakfast and make coffee and then start reading, so let's do this. I'm getting dragged out of my house again. It's like 2:30-ish. I finished, I don't even remember what it's called, Into the Dark. I finished Into the Dark, and that was truly the most messed up book I have ever read. I don't even think I can form coherent thoughts about it. It feels like a fever dream. It's like about this guy, he's like a serial killer, and then he falls in love with this girl, and he gets obsessed with her, but she's also like obsessed with him. Really, really weird. Look up trigger warnings for it. It's like dark. They both have like trauma and shit. And then stuff. Yeah. It didn't take me long to read though. An hour and a half maybe. Quick read, it was like 225 pages. But
But in 15 minutes, which means I have to get dressed, I'm going with my family to like some ice cream social thing. And I don't know how long that's gonna be. Probably like an hour and a half-ish. So that means I'm getting home 5:30-ish, and I still have to read another book. I don't think I can read The Prison Healer. I don't think I have enough time to read The Prison Healer. So I checked in the next volume of One Piece, which is actually volume 26, has a blue cover. So I'm gonna read that for my prompt, which seems like a good idea. So, because it's also like the only thing I actually have time to read. So I'm gonna go get dressed because I need to wear nicer clothes than this. And yeah, then when I get home, I'll get back to some reading. But that's what's up with me. Also, I made coffee and it was good, but I forgot to make it actually cold. It was like lukewarm instead of cold, so that wasn't the most fun, but besides that, it was fine. I'm gonna go do stuff. It's the end of Bookoplathon. Bookoplathon actually ended like an hour ago, but I didn't read anything. I ended up going out with my family. Like I said, we went to that social thing, and then we also went to Costco. I didn't think we were gonna go to Costco today. It's really funny that I think yesterday I said there's gonna be no more Costco trips, and we went to Costco. So we were pretty much gone from like 2:45 to 6. So I didn't complete one prompt. I did not complete the water prompt, which I think I said was gonna be easier than the feed scroll, but I managed to do feed scroll, but not water prompt. Yeah. But no, I still had a successful Bookoplathon. I read 7 books, but I think it was wildly successful. I had a great time. And yeah, that's the end of this vlog. This was weekly reading vlog combined with Bookoplathon, so I had fun. I read a heck of a lot of books this week. I don't even remember all the books I read, but that's okay, because you just watched the video. So, that's going to be the end of this vlog. I'm going to start a new weekly reading vlog tomorrow. And yeah, I'd say this week was a success for the vlog. So hopefully continue that into next week's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Down below will be links to all the books I talked about, as well as my Goodreads and my Bookstagram if you want to follow me there. Subscribe to see more content from me, and I'll see you all in my next video very soon. Bye!